So Irene, today is the last day to vote to get your favorite ArtPrize piece in the top 10. Anyway, every year there seems to be one piece in ArtPrize that stops me in my tracks. And this year, the piece is this one. It's at the Public Museum. You've seen it, you wanted to tear it down. And the piece is called Rain. Though what it makes me think of is falling leaves. And it's fall right now, so that's nice. This thing has been stuck in my mind for almost a week now. I want to live in it. I want to sleep underneath it. And when I close my eyes, sometimes I still see it. And I know that's weird, but just listen to me. What I'm talking about is one of the ways that art gets to us, Irene. This inexplicable, unexpected, sometimes uninvited occupation of the mind. But there's another even more fundamental way that art moves us. And it's going to take a lot longer to explain, so just calm down. I know you're a baby, but just listen. You see, as human beings, we are wired to tell stories. Our brains are story machines. We can't not think in stories. You can, but you're a baby. When you get older, you'll always think in stories. Sometimes art tells a story to us, but sometimes when art's really good, it compels us to tell the story ourselves. So this is the story that my mind has been telling myself about this piece of art. The story begins, or at least gets interesting, with La Grande Vitesse. It's a sculpture, a hulking red, undulating chunk of a sculpture near City Hall. You don't ever go there because you don't have parking tickets to pay. But the sculpture's by Alexander Calder. Most people around town just call the sculpture the Calder. So Calder was a famous guy, and he did sculptures like La Grande Vitesse all over. But none were as good as ours, and none are as fiercely loved. But what Calder did best with these sculptures, which were called stabiles, was to take a structure and give it a sense of movement. In the case of La Grande Vitesse, that movement was meant to reflect the churning water in our river downtown. And our Calder sculpture was also sort of the beginning of a different kind of movement in this city. Every piece of art in Grand Rapids that came after La Grande Vitesse exists in the shadow of La Grande Vitesse. Some pieces pay homage in their theme. Maya Lin's Ecliptic, that sculpture that everyone thinks is just a park on Rosa Parks Circle, that picks up on the water theme. And some pieces pay homage to the aesthetics of the Calder, like the red button that's in Anabawin Park that all the kids love. It has nothing to do with the Calder except for it has that bright red color that just makes you think of the Calder. But also there are some pieces of art in this town that accidentally reference the Calder. Like the piece by Ran Ortner, the guy who won the very first ArtPrize. Now Ran Ortner had never been to Grand Rapids before he brought that painting here. He'd never even heard of the city. And yet he came to town with this giant painting of churning water. Churning water. And he won the whole competition. Alright, so I've been talking for a while, and you're thinking, what the hell is the point of this? First off, you're a baby. Don't talk like that. But the point of this is that I think this sculpture, Rain, it references the Calder in all three of the ways I just mentioned. It has the thematic reference to water. It has the aesthetic reference. Just look inside those little tiles. There are bright orange ones in the middle. Kind of like the Calder. And I think it's all an accidental reference. I haven't talked to the artist, but I'm pretty sure she wasn't trying to explicitly pay homage to the Calder, though that's exactly what she did. And I'll even take it a step further, Irene. I'll say that this piece isn't just a reference to the Calder. It doesn't just pay homage to the Calder. It's a true companion to the Calder. So just try to picture the Calder in your little baby mind. Imagine what it does. It's a towering mass of however many tons of steel. It's planted firmly. It would survive a missile strike. And yet that firmly built structure has movement and lightness. Now look at this piece, Rain. Look at how delicate it is. How it's always in motion, but it moves just barely. We're led to believe this piece is about rain, but if the artist really meant to just convey rain, the piece wouldn't be in the shape of a cube. Rain doesn't fall in a cube, Irene. But this piece is in the shape of a cube for a reason. And that reason, I think, is structure. And that's where the Calder and this piece really meet. Because Whereas the Calder takes a structure and gives it movement, this piece takes movement and gives it a structure. Bam. Did I just blow your little baby mind, Irene? No? You're bored? You want to go back and see the sculpture of Gerald Ford? It is very lifelike. Anyway, this is what art does to us when it's doing its best. It captures us, it compels us into seeing these abstract things and turning them into elaborate, long stories that we tell ourselves in a closet, recording audio, so that other people will listen to it later, and babies will listen to it, and they'll understand art. That's what art makes us do. And it's time you learned that.